sub! Look around at this wonderful, bright, colorful world. Let me fix that. There we go. I've teleported you to the Nether. This is much better, right? I thought so. It's time for 7 features that everyone wants in the Nether in Minecraft 1.16. After all, the Nether update was cool, but I have a slight feeling that there's a few players out there with even more awesome feature ideas. So let's try and fit a few into the game today. Let's get into it! Number 1. Nether Dragon. Hey, let's think about things for a second here. Maybe it would be smart if we had another dragon in the game. Of course, I'm not talking about the red dragon we all know. You know, the one that was teased years ago. This time, I'm actually talking about a completely different dragon. Behold, the Nether Dragon. While it looks like an Ender Dragon here, sub, let me tell you, with Mojang behind the update, they could make it look epic. You may be thinking, what makes a Nether Dragon any different from an Ender Dragon? Well, Nether Dragons will actually act as an entirely new challenge. Now, when you join the Nether and stay there for more than a few days, you may encounter this beast. The dragon will spawn in a nearby chunk. It'll look like a skeleton, dripping in soul sand with blue fire eyes. It would be completely resistant to all fire and explosive damage. So beds are out of the question for this one. Rather than ender crystals providing a heal, this dragon can simply heal by flying near a nether palace. But more on those later. For now, just keep in mind you'll need to find whatever these nether places are and destroy the crystals within. Only then will you be able to deal damage to this dragon. Any enchantments against undead, as well as tridents, would be super effective against this creature. Maybe you have it within you, sub. The potential to save thousands of piglin villages. Well, that's if it ever gets added, that is. While we wait for that, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. We keep knocking down milestone after milestone, and we've shown no sign of slowing down. Number 2. Nether Creeper. Let's be honest, there's some really cool mobs in the Nether, especially the awesome additions from 1.16, such as the piglins and hoglins. But the Nether still leaves something to be desired in my opinion. I think the Nether needs a stealthy ninja-type mob of its own, the Creeper, but in a Nether form. These creepers are straight up smarter. Not only will they creep around and remain quiet, they may also keep at a distance and follow you for a while, taking you across the Nether floor. They can choose the perfect moment to strike. The only thing is, Nether Creepers don't explode. Instead, they just shoot exploding bombs towards the player. These explosions cause a lot of damage, and the only way to truly defeat a Nether Creeper would be to shoot it with a trident. Yep, that trident is coming in handy more and more nowadays. If you think about it, sub, the trident is like the main water weapon in the game. So if anything is going to have the power to put out a fiery creature, it's going to be the trident. We could even use a whole new enchantment that could be called dripping, which deals extra damage to any form of fiery mob. And yes, there's always snowballs too. Number 3. More biomes. Once Mojang opened the floodgates and started adding new biomes to the Nether, I'm sure they realized they weren't just gonna have to stop there. Since the addition of fungi forests, Mojang have been spammed endlessly with cool new biome ideas. One thing people are desperate for in Minecraft is a cave update. Caves need an overhaul, not just in the overworld, but also in the Nether too. In the Nether, caves and ravines are all fairly rudimentary. You could even say that Nether caves are even less interesting than that of the overworld ones, as there's far less ores to find in the walls, just quartz, and potentially some gold or ancient debris. We'll focus on how much ores could improve the Nether later, but for now I think changing up the caves and adding even more biome styles to the Nether would further flesh out this strange dimension, giving people places to roam, and a whole new side to survival that has a dark and dreary twist. Number 4. Piglin villages. These structures are a necessity and have been suggested even as far back as beta. You see, people originally wanted villages for zombie pigmen and pigmen that originally inhabited the Nether. With the new piglins, however, a whole new wave of users have returned and have began demanding that villages or settlements of some kind be added to the Nether. I mean, it makes sense, right? The piglins are smart enough to group together, hunt, trade, even wear armor. They create huge bastions, so it's likely they can rustle together a few huts and houses. These places could be chock full of interesting features. Each piglin could have a unique profession, and you could even have a different piglin village types depending on the Nether biome it spawns in. Imagine a cool treehouse Nether village in the forests, and then more of a tribal hut type village in the soul sand valleys. One thing's for sure, finding a hub like this would bring a lot of interesting gameplay towards the game. Able to set up camp and truly make the Nether feel like your home, which is the whole aim with the 1.16 update anyways, right sub? I thought so. Hey, if you want to see piglin villages in a future Minecraft update, then make sure to like the video. It helps us show what we need to make more of. And maybe also subscribe. After all, it's free. Number 5. Destroyed bridges. The Nether is filled with huge ravines and giant gaps. There's literally no safe place in this lava-filled wasteland. And that's why you have to watch what you're doing. It would seem with this new generated structure, other people have had the same idea. Destroyed bridges would appear, bridging across huge gaps and ravines. Maybe not all the way like in some cases. These were probably built by the piglins after they settled in their villages. These bridges just wouldn't help with travel, but they could even come with their own loot chests that could be filled with special piglins weaponry, never before seen in the overworld. In fact, speaking of piglin items and generated artifacts, they should all be added into the game as well. Not just generated structures, but actual tangible materials that the piglins can use and fight with. If you ask me, sub, these piglins hold the potential for an entire Nether civilization, and maybe even the future. Number 6. Nether Palace. Hey, sub, where are you going? Ah, I see you found a strange new structure. Well, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. This here is a Nether Palace, and the Nether Dragon will often fly over it so that the crystal inside can heal its health. Luckily for you, sub, I'm gonna tell you how these work. Nether Palaces would spawn in and be just about as rare as fortresses. While they wouldn't offer blazes or wither skeletons, they would host an army of zombified piglins, as if the palace was once ruled by these pig people, but has since fallen to the chaos of the dragon. Inside would be all sorts of redstone traps and dangerous dead ends. Not only would you have to maneuver your way through the passageways, but each level would also act like a dungeon level, getting harder as you finally reach the top. There you'll find the crystal, which can only be destroyed by a special pickaxe, which you don't have, sub. Oops. Number 7. New Nether Ore. Hey, want to destroy the crystals at the heart of the Nether Palaces? Well, you're gonna need to get yourself an entirely brand new pick. That's right, netherite isn't gonna cut it for this one, sub. Adding anything stronger than netherite or rarer than diamond that can still be effective outside of the Nether would probably ruin the game's meta a little bit. So any new ores that are added should only work while in the Nether. Either that or durability will reduce twice as fast, if not used in the Nether. One thing for sure, these ores are Nether only. Finding them and smelting them may be a difficult process too. Technically, you could have ores that only appear in the Soul Sand Valley, or even deep within the basalt deltas. Either way, getting one of those picks would be tough, And that's exactly what you need to do in order to destroy the Nether Palace crystal. What do you guys think at home? Would you enjoy some sort of cool Nether resource system like this? Which ways do you think we could find different ores in the Nether? And what would you put in the Nether Palace? Be sure to let us know by telling us in the comments. In the meantime, you need to get to work on those next videos, sub. We'll see you soon.